You have not seen what I have seen.
Oh, here she goes.
I have seen what I have seen.
Of course you've seen what you've seen, but what is that?
Well, do you mean specifically, or?
Of course I want specifics. So what have you seen?
I have seen many things.
Oh, Jesus Christ, be specific.
Well, you haven't seen it, so what difference does it make?
Just tell me what you've seen.
I have seen something.
Oh, sod this, I'm off down the pub.
I have seen the pub.
Oh, off.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. The Rings of Power dropped last night, and not everyone watched it. Some people watched over the weekend. It is a bit of a commitment. It's not like a 30-minute episode. You've got about 2 hours of time. As of right now, the early reviews from Rotten Tomatoes are very bad. Very bad. It is in the 30s and dropping. It's snuck up to 38% now. So I assume when you see me tomorrow, I'll be wearing another solid color shirt and be talking about a new wave of articles about toxic fandom and men don't like women and all this stuff. And invariably what happens when you have these big wave of negative reviews, it's all the people that you didn't listen to along the way. It's all the people that you said were toxic and that they wouldn't know. And this is just them telling you, hey, guess what? We were totally right. And your show sucks. And that's why it's at a 38%. Can Rings of Power turn it around? I believe anything is possible, but it's going to be an uphill battle. And apparently the main actress is already in therapy. I assume they put out this fluff piece to garner some, like, I don't know, sympathy or something like that. By the way, today is the last day of promo code GRIFT at coffeebrandcoffee.com. 11% off. We just launched our spiked jack-o'-lantern coffee, which is fall as frick. It tastes delicious. I put a little bit of plain creamer in it, a little bit of sugar, and it's so good. It's fall in your mouth. And you've got our standard, we've got every roast, light, 2 lights, a medium, and a dark. We've got the double caffeinated, which is flying off the shelves. We've got a decaf. We've got 3 velvety hot cocos. We've got the cold brew bags, which are like impossible to keep in stock. We've still got a few spots open in our roaster's choice. We've got K-cups. If you don't like coffee or cocoa, we've got 6. If you go to View All or Shop by Teas, we've got 6 organic loose leaf teas. And we've got a bunch of merch and other stuff too. Today will be an excellent day to pick up our biggest discount ever and support the channel and get a high quality coffee, tea, or cocoa made right here in the United States. Rings of Power actress I needed therapy to survive the battle scenes. Let's see how that's being received by the fans. First post, somebody tagging me, Melanie Mack. I'm going to need therapy to survive watching an episode of the show. You see, no one cares. I went and saw the first 2 episodes, straight dumpster fire. Oh, boo-hoo. Vigo nearly died and almost drowned. What's the worst she's been through? Oh my God, give us a break. I mean, this is like a spectacular backfire of some weird press that was clearly put out to try and fix things. That's how a lot of Lord of the Rings fans feel after seeing the trailer. I mean, like, is that supposed to have changed the fact that it's now at 37%? Oh, and by the way, it's dropped down to 84% now. It may actually drop into the 70s from the critics, which I think is probably where it belongs from the critics. A 70s from the critics and the 50s from the fans is probably where it'll level off. There's 4,600 critic reviews or user reviews. So it's not exactly a small sample size. This article tried to make Morford more humanized. By the way, she's the worst part of the show. The worst. That's not anything like personally against Morford Clark, I think her last name is. It's Galadriel. Galadriel's the worst part of the show. Ultra Mary Sue. Just lazy writing. Better writing could have made a better character. If you can't beat him, train with him. The Lord of the Rings of Power star Morford Clark revealed the intense way she prepared for her role as Galadriel, an ethereal warrior elf that was played by Kate Blanchett in the films. When I was playing Galadriel, the stunt team said, "You got a problem because you're used to being attacked on film," she told Empire, just at about adjusting to Token's Middle-earth fantasy world. "I would flinch a lot when people came at me. So they did exposure therapy with me, where I would have all these huge men running at me, screaming with swords to stop me from looking frightened." You were afraid on a movie set? You know it's fake, right? Most of the stuff that they're interacting with that looks scary isn't even there. It's CGI. To stop me from looking frightened, because I've definitely been cast as the victim, as Galadriel is not that, she explained. The 33-year-old Ring's role is different from the types of jobs she usually books. I think she's been in like one movie. Clark is most recognizable for portrayal as a traumatized nurse in Saint Maud, but has always been a fan of Token's franchise. Of course, everybody's always been a fan of the thing that they're in now. They've been a fan since they were a little kid. Yes. Everyone always says, always say that. The Amazon Prime series was a personal venture for CEO Jeff Bezos, who is a longtime fan of the franchise. He passed that passion down to his son, who Bezos said gave him some advice on the show. He looked me in the eyes and very sincerely said, "Dad, please don't F this up." Well, you got a 37%. I would say you F'd this up. And the fact that, I had trouble getting through the first episode. Eager fans are left underwhelmed by hotly anticipated Lord of the Rings of Power, as the first two episodes of Amazon's billion-dollar Tolkien epic finally drop. After two big-screen trilogies adapted from Tolkien's Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit books, Amazon Studios hotly anticipated the Lord of the Rings of Power finally dropped. But fans have been left underwhelmed by the newly released series, at least from the first two episodes, with the Second Age of Middle-earth, thousands of years before the events in both the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings books. The 8-episode series began during a time of peace, but will depict events that play a huge role in LOTR and the Hobbit franchise, including the forging of the Rings of Power. Excited viewers were eagerly awaiting the first two episodes to drop at 2 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time on Friday, but appeared disappointed by the results after binge-watching the one-hour installments, as it received very mixed reviews. Die-hard Lord of the Rings fans took to Twitter to admit that they had trouble even getting through the first episode of Amazon's primetime billion-dollar Tolkien classic, while others described the characters and plot as dull. I wouldn't exactly say that's mixed. I'd say that's pretty squarely negative. I mean, I would think. At least that's what I think. What do you think? One viewer noted, "I've loved everything Lord of the Rings for decades now, but I had trouble even getting through the first episode of The Rings of Power. I'm still going to watch all the episodes before passing judgment on the show as a whole." This is one thing I can't remember what I said in my like official review first episode or first video today is that I think that maybe people will be better off waiting for the first season to be done and then watching it, because it's like so much world building in a world that's already been built. It's so weird, but like maybe if you could sit down and watch the first 4 or 5 episodes in a run, then you might be like more forgiving. But when we're rating things in a vacuum, where these are the only 2 episodes we have and they're not very good, fans are mad about it. Another side, I tried to start Lord of the Rings trilogy last night for no reason at all. I got the best sleep I had in months. The third comment, "The show looks very pretty, but most of the characters are dull, which is unfortunate because Lord of the Rings usually has engaging characters. It was I kind of struggled at points even to keep watching since most of the characters are so boring." I'll keep watching. See, this is the problem. Like, if it sucks, don't watch it. I'm sure we'll get this these fluff pieces over the weekend that are like from Amazon. It's like, Lord of the Rings was the most watched show in the world ever in history. Source, dude, trust us, bro. A third comment, "The show looked very pretty, but most of the characters are dull." A fourth added, "The snow troll was well designed. Some scenes felt like raw Lord of the Rings online nostalgia, but that's about the only positives I've experienced so far. An episode and a half in." A fifth fumed, If the concept of secondhand embarrassment were a TV show, it would be the Rings of Power. These are all exclusively negative. They're not mixed at all. Like, I don't know, I mean, obviously they had technical issues, of course. Even The Guardian, a lefty website. Trouble in Harfoot, Amazon's Lord of the Rings epic divides Tolkien fans. It really doesn't divide them. The overwhelming majority of Tolkien fans were, can I at least say disappointed? I can't say, as a statement of fact, that the show is absolute garbage, trash, dumpster fodder, because there's 6 more episodes left in the first season. But it does seem that, a lot of the conversations and things of that nature are kind of dragging on and dragging out for the purpose of just hearing themselves talk, or if they're just trying to fill time. I get it that they have a more difficult task in this in this series, because in the movie we were already dealing with well-established characters. You didn't need to give everyone's history as much. In this series, most people are not familiar with these characters, and so we don't know who we're supposed to care about. Amazon's trying to make us care about people, and it's not working. Most of the Twitter response, everyone who dissed Hobbit films owes Peter Jackson an apology because Rings of Power proves it can get worse. I didn't like the Hobbit films either. Watch Rings of Power. What a colossal waste of money. You can see they've added CGI to pretty much every frame, but it adds nothing, feels empty. I don't know. Finish episode 1 of Rings of Power, total butchery of Galadriel. This is literal CW LOTR. I mean, I don't buy the CW comparisons, maybe in dialogue, because it is cringy at time, and they also have modern colloquialisms in their conversations, saying "oh, okay" or things like that, which they don't seem to fit. There's all sorts of weird stuff going on. But I guess therapy, I thought she was an actor, and she was a big fan of Lord of the Rings. I think that they put that out to try and deflect a little bit. I don't know how low the audience score is going to go. Probably stay in the mid 40s, I'm guessing. But boy, does the Team Bezos have an immense amount of work to do. If you're still here, please do consider heading over to coffeebrandcoffee.com. This is my company. It supports the channel directly. We have coffee, tea, and cocoa. We have t-shirts, hats, mugs. Right here in the United States, we've got our own coffee grinders. We've got tea infusers. We've got everything that you could need. Makes a great gift and supports the channel. And promo code GRIFT will save you 11% off. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.